Oh boy, Camino pilgrims. It is morning here. We, my Caitlin and I, over here. Oh, there we go. Got you in there. My Caitlin and I left out of Las Areas about 6:30, and I did that on purpose, knowing that if you leave about 6 or 6:30 in May, I'm sure you can leave even earlier, later in the summer. If you leave about then, the first part from Las Areas is on the road, so it's easy to walk at night or walk in the dark. I don't really like walking in the dark on dirt paths, like on rock paths. But I knew we could get up here, and now it's daylight. Really for what I consider to be the first of the climb. You can see behind me there. It gets pretty serious after this. You may not be able to see perspective-wise on that camera, but that is about, I can see it, just the distance that I can see is probably going up 20 meters, just in the part that I can see. So this is really where the climb really starts. In fact, if you see the kind of little hutch behind me, that can be a good signal for you if you're walking through this section that you are about to begin the crazy stuff. So yeah, so we've got a day here planned to film Fria, which is on the other side of Cebreiro. We just got started out about 6:30, and we will plan to be, it usually takes me about 2.5 or 3 hours to get from Las Areas to Cebreiro. So if you're walking this section, know that it is going to take you a bit longer, especially if you're a big person like me. There's lots of rest breaks to keep the heart rate down going up this hill. But it's actually a beautiful, beautiful walk. And today, our weather, it's going to get up in about low 80s, I think, Fahrenheit by the end of the day. But today, it's just cool this morning, but not, certainly not cold. So I think as we go up the elevation, we'll get a little bit cooler, which will help because the sun comes up. So anyway, we're off the mountain, or up the mountain, and I'll try to give you some good images as we head on up.
Yes. Yay! We're a third of the way. Let's go.
So you can probably see now, like basically when you walk up to Cebreiro, there's kind of 3 sections. The first section is all the switchbacks, which you can see in the video. And that's for sure the hardest part. At least to me it is. It's much steeper, it seems. All the way up to La Faba, which is the first village up the mountain. And then shortly after La Faba, it starts to open up with less trees. You kind of see around us, most everything here is quite a bit lower trees, or very few trees, which means that you can see a lot farther. We can see, I'll turn the camera around, you can see a pilgrim coming up the trail, a couple of them coming up the trail in the distance there, because we're starting to be able to see quite a ways now that the trees are cleared out. So yeah, we're making our way up the mountain. I think it's much easier from here, but it seems like it goes on forever. The thing that we just saw said that we'd come 3.5 kilometers and then we have 4.7 to go, but I think the 4.7 seems a lot longer than that. So anyway, it's a beautiful walk. It's actually a beautiful morning even just weather-wise, it's we've got a nice little chill, but not cold, and just a little bit of cloud cover up on the tips of the mountains. So it's pretty great scenery up here. Oh, Buen Camino, they're pilgrims. This one's kind of a fun one. You may recognize Ricky from Camino Tellers, one of the other Camino education channels on YouTube. Just walked into, what is this town? I don't even remember now.
This is La Laguna.
La Laguna, yeah. So we're just below Cebreiro, and he just walked in and recognized
and I was
me.
Like, I know this guy. This face seems familiar, you know? Yeah, this is a famous YouTube guy. Actually, the story was I saw him yesterday in Herrerias, which was the town just below, and I was like, nah. I know this one. So
well, that was funny because I have watched your channel, but I wouldn't have recognized you anyway.
Yeah. I keep incognito, you know. I don't like this. So happy days, guys.
Yeah, so we will tag in this video. I'll tag your channel, and that way folks can find your channel as well. But anyway, super cool to meet so many people. I don't know how many folks you've met, but I know a lot of people are probably watching your videos too. But it's been cool to meet so many people, but then to meet somebody else's. You know, I've done doing collabs with Nadine from Nadine Walks, and Kate from Wanderlusting Lawyer, which are a couple of other ones that are doing videos.
Happy days. Yeah.
So that's been fun to do.
It's cool to actually find someone on the way, you know?
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So if anyway, you're still doubting to do the Camino, don't doubt it, because this is the thing to do. At least once in your life. Yes. And the story,
and maybe multiple times.
Yeah. Once you do it once, you never stop.
You know, one of the lessons you learn when you walk Camino is that you just have to accept what the Camino gives you. And honestly, we're standing right now on one of the most beautiful overlooks on Camino Frances, I think. Looking down from, we are just below the Galicia marker that we're just walking into Galicia. So some of you that have been in this area about a mile down from Cebreiro know how beautiful this section is. But look at, we've walked up into the clouds. You've seen the video a few minutes ago where we were able to see quite a ways, and now we kind of walked right up into some of the low-lying clouds, and we can't really see anything at all. So, you know, I know some of you have had that experience in the Pyrenees, for example, where you work so hard to get up there and get those beautiful views, and sometimes you just don't have it. The weather doesn't always comply with our plans. So anyway, it's still a beautiful morning, but can't see quite as far as we might imagine. Well, friends, one of the things you'll notice about the Galicia marker, is a pretty famous marker on Camino, and it's actually pretty clean. There's only a little bit of graffiti on it. I'm pretty sure that the government comes and cleans that regularly because it usually has much more on there. But a good lesson for us not to have to mark up every little monument. But it's a beautiful monument up here on the hillside just below Cebreiro, about 1.5 kilometers below Cebreiro. So good lesson there. We are walking through a cloud, and you just made it to Cebreiro.
Oh, nice.
How do you feel about making it? Is this the biggest mountain you think you've climbed? No. No? You've done very...
I thought it was going to be, but like I was saying, day 2 was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ew. Monday.
So we've just been in eating at Cebreiro, and you saw what it looked like when I came in, and now the sun has cleared out the clouds. It's absolutely gorgeous. So oftentimes it doesn't take long. The weather makes it beautiful again.
She looks really young. Yeah, she's about to, well, not about to, but she just turned 49.
Part of the animal. How was the walk this morning?
The first part was a little rough.
Tori was lying later.
For up to La Faba?
I was struggling.
Because she likes to go faster than you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially going up a mountain. I'd rather get it done.
Yeah. She was just like how we were going like flat. She was going like that up the mountain. I was like, please no. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
Well, just coming down from Cebreiro now. I've not gone very far actually, just a bit from the way, but this was reflecting on how crazy sometimes these Camino stories are, you know. Meeting Ricky this morning on the way up to Cebreiro, you know, there's probably only 6 or 8 YouTube channels that do this kind of educational content. So Nadine and Kate I've both collaborated with, Rob's Caminos and then Camino Tellers, and you know, there's probably a few others that I'm forgetting at the moment. Ivar has a pretty unique kind of education channel, but there's not a lot of us that are making these kind of instructional videos. Lots, of course, lots and lots of bloggers that are making movies out of their story, and that's a whole different thing, and there's lots of great ones. But it's so interesting that, you know, there's only a few of us that are doing this kind of educational stuff. And of course, if Nadine or Kate were walking and we were gonna meet, we would talk about it. We messaged back and forth. But to just randomly meet Ricky this morning on the way is really interesting. You know, I have some other stories that are similar where a woman that I had worked with many years earlier messaged me out of the blue one year and said, hey, I own an albergue now in Samos. not Albergación, Casarua. You know, she said you have to bring your students by for tapas, and she hosted us, and that was absolutely delightful. One year, this is one of my first Caminos actually. I came into Santiago into the English Mass. So when you're in the cathedral, there's a pilgrim Mass each day, but then there are also most of the larger language groups in the US or in the world have a Mass that's said in Santiago in your own language. And sure enough, I go into the English Mass, and a student or a person sits down in front of me. She notices my shirt and she says, "Do you know the University of Indianapolis?" I said, "Of course. I'm a faculty member there. I'm staff there." And she said, "Oh, well, I'm a grad student at UIndy." And you know, this woman just happens to sit down in front of me, who knows my university. I was a student of mine, technically, as a chaplain, and I'd never met her before, and we meet each other on the other side of the globe. You already know that Ashley and Amanda just happened to be in this same section of trail. They're walking with us most days now, and staying in similar hostels and so on. So sometimes it's just shocking how much we can be surprised by the kind of Camino appointments, the coincidences or miracles, or however you want to think about them. It's pretty cool the way that those stories come together, and really a cool one today to be able to meet Ricky and on one of the coolest parts of Camino, just about a mile before the Galician boundary marker. So anyway, I'll show you some more images. This is a great section of Camino as we make our way to Fonfria. Folks, I've come quite a ways from Cebreiro now. I'm in between Hospital and Alto, but I have to tell you that at the top of that right there is Alto. You can see that power line up there is right next to the bar that's the top of this hill. And after you've had a long day, there is nothing that will steal your will to live like this little hill. I think it's probably the steepest section. By section, it's only about 400 meters to get up there. I think it's the steepest part of all of Camino Frances, and after a long day, it will absolutely steal your will to live. I'm not sure that I can even film my way up there. I at least will not be able to talk, so you can see a little bit of footage of me dying my way up this hill. But at the top is a nice bar. I can hear them laughing up there. I'm certain they're not laughing at me, but at each other. But right now it feels a little bit like they might be laughing at me. So anyway, I will show you the bar at the top and maybe some of this way up.
When you already walked up Cebreiro, and then this is what happens. I know, right?
Yeah, but when you get up to that bar, you're done for the day. It's about 2 miles to the place, so they'll place you off. What do they have to eat? Yeah.